Good day. Welcome to the Back to School edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Eric is your host, along with Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeremy Luft. And Jeremy, we're starting off the new year where we left off last spring.
Yeah. Well, first, it's a pleasure to have you back. I hope you had a wonderful summer.
You as well, sir.
We were certainly optimistic at the end of last school year that we would be opening to bigger and better things and a return to normalcy. And while that may not be exactly where we are, we're very much looking forward to welcoming all our students back and getting back to the business of educating students.
As you can see, Jeremy and I are both wearing facial coverings now, and this is the law in New York State. It might be an inconvenience, but the safety is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, as many know, New York State has required face coverings in schools. So as promised from the beginning of this pandemic, we're following the guidelines that were provided by the state. So we are abiding by those, and I'm hopeful that as the numbers drop, that mandate may go away. I'm hopeful that the numbers quickly go down the other direction, and that would be the case. But for now, we're going to continue to abide by the rules that are in place and making sure we're keeping our students and our staff safe.
You know, some people might be against wearing a mask, but as you say, this is the law, the rule of the land.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes to a point of putting personal feelings aside, following the guidelines that are in place, and doing everything we possibly can to keep our students safe. Whether you feel the masks are keeping them safe or not, they're certainly not doing any harm in preventing the virus from spreading between students. So we certainly encourage everyone to abide by the rules and to come prepared to wear masks. And the students are used to it. They'll quickly adapt, and we'll be able to continue education.
And now with the fall here, the nicer weather will be here, you're encouraging your staff to take kids out of doors whenever possible.
Sure. Any opportunities our teachers have to bring their students outdoors. We have some new outdoor spaces across the buildings, a new courtyard here at the high school, and I'm sure that our teachers will take advantage of those opportunities and hence provide students an opportunity for some mask breaks at the same time.
It's been a hot summer, a long, hot summer in Putnam County. Yet the buildings here in the Putnam Valley School District are immaculate. The floors, you can eat off the floors. You want to give a special thanks to the maintenance people, the custodial staff.
Yeah, I mean, we always like to recognize the efforts of those who are here over the summer. Our buildings and ground staff always does a tremendous job in really preparing for schools to reopen, whether it be the grounds outdoors, completing projects, or our building staff. And like you said, the floors, the entire buildings are immaculate and ready to welcome back our students. Some other sort of unsung heroes over the summer, our technology department works to image thousands of computers and make sure that all the technology is up and running for when students return. And obviously our office staff. We have many office staff members that are here throughout the summer, and they really dedicate their summer to getting everything ready so students can successfully transition back.
Another group we want to say thank you to, the, again, more unsung heroes, the volunteers, the Board of Education. These people do it because they love the community, they love the school, they love the kids. They've been working all summer long, getting ready for the next budget process already.
Yeah, we're lucky to have such supportive board members here in Putnam Valley. We welcome Ms. Helen Horvitz as a new board member this year. And as you mentioned, they've been working with the community and having some public meetings over the summer, and they're very much looking forward to opening schools.
Transportation. Masks must be worn on buses as well.
Correct. So on the buses, it's obviously difficult to maintain any social distancing with two students in a seat. So masks are required on buses. Windows should be open. We're doing everything we can to mitigate any risk of the virus spreading in those spaces, and to also mitigate any potential exposures or students needing to quarantine if someone does in fact test positive. So we're doing everything in our power to prevent those two things and keep our students safe so we can keep everyone back in school.
How's the construction project coming along?
Great. So we're just in our final stages. We're hoping tomorrow the new bathroom facilities at the middle school will be open for our faculty and our students. The gym floor is refinished and it looks immaculate. It matches the high school. And those are really the two main facilities projects going on this summer.
And once again, the construction project could not have been completed without the support of the community.
Yeah, we very much value the community support. This is the same project that was approved a couple years ago, and we're just phasing it in rather than doing all the work in one summer. But it's the same pot of money that the community had supported, and that same work continued this summer.
Athletics are a great part of the Putnam Valley community. People love to come to games. The young people love to practice, love to perform for the community. We have a new athletic director.
We do. We very much wish Mr. Burrow the best of luck. I transitioned to a high school assistant principal position closer to his home, and we welcome a new AD who came to us from New York City, but he's familiar with the area. Him and his wife live in the area. So Mr. David Kantrowitz is our new athletic director, and he's received rave reviews so far.
Should we meet him?
I think we should meet
Let's
him.
do it right now. David Kantrowitz, the new athletic director here in the Putnam Valley School District. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Tell us about David Kantrowitz. Who is the new AD and where'd you come from? A little background.
So I grew up in Monroe, New York. I went to Monroe Woodbury. Over at Monroe Woodbury, athletics was life for me over there. I was a four-sport athlete in high school. I ran cross country and track. I wrestled and I played lacrosse. From there, I moved on to SUNY Cortland, where I did my bachelor's in PE and I did my master's in health education. I wrestled there and I played lacrosse as well. I had a great time, but it was really in high school when I knew that athletics was going to be the career for me. Both of my wrestling coaches, which was my main sport, were PE teachers, and I just said, what a great idea. I can continue wrestling, I can continue to play sports, and I can make a career out of it for myself. From there, I moved on to New York City, the Department of Education, where I served as a PE teacher, a wrestling coach, and eventually the athletic director of Bronx Studio School down in Hunts Point. I was there for the last 7 years. It was a great experience. My wife and I actually moved up to Westchester in October, and by way of New York City, found our way up to Putnam Valley.
Why Putnam Valley?
One of the things that really stood out to me with Putnam Valley was the aspect of the community and how involved the community is in not just the athletic program, but the entire school experience. The community is extremely supportive of our students, our student athletes, our staff and teachers, and it just really seemed like a great place to work and grow professionally.
You got some good vibes then before you made that decision to come to Putnam County.
Yeah, the interview process with Dr. Luft and the school board members was phenomenal. It's been nothing but excitement and happiness to be here, and everybody, really circles around and really supports that athletic program, and I'm very happy to be part of the Putnam Valley community.
What do residents of Putnam Valley have to look forward to this year when it comes to the interscholastic sports?
So, interscholastic sports, obviously we always want to try to expand those opportunities for our student athletes. We were fortunate enough this year, right off the bat, to bring back JV football as well as JV field hockey, and we're in preparation, making plans to bring back future JV sports as well as they become available. One of the other major things that we're creating this year is a Putnam Valley Superstore. So now the community will have access to all of the gear and swag and sweatshirts and custom materials that the teams have, so they can support their student athletes, support the community, and hopefully come out to some more of our games.
Of course, everyone knows out there we're living in unparalleled times with COVID. And, the close contact of athletes. What do you tell the young ladies and gentlemen?
Safety, the health and safety of our student athletes, our community, and our staff and coaches is of the utmost importance. We've followed every guideline and recommendation from all health reporting bodies, the CDC, the Putnam County Department of Health, and we're just making sure that we can provide the quality athletic experience that our kids need to develop appropriately while maintaining that healthy and safe environment for all those who are involved.
You speak with your fellow athletic directors throughout the county in northern Westchester?
Absolutely, very, very frequently, and we make sure that all of our policies and procedures are on par with the rest of the county and the area.
And we're looking forward to a good year.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to it.
We always do this, new guy comes on the block. Got to say hello to Mrs. Kantrowitz. Tell us about your bride.
Yes, my wife Jenna, she's amazing. She is actually a first grade teacher, still down in New York City, down on the Upper West Side, bless her soul. And she's been teaching for 8 years. She's on her path to becoming an assistant principal. So I'm trying to persuade her to come up here to Putnam Valley with me one day.
All right, there you go.
One can hope.
We wish you the best.
Thank you so
we
much.
wish Mrs. K the best. And
Thank
have a
you.
great year.
I appreciate that. You as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
David Kantrowitz, the new athletic director here in the Putnam Valley School District. And Jeremy and I will be right back. It's always so great to have such excitement. Do you remember when you first started?
I do remember starting as a teacher. It feels very overwhelming at first, but I remember how nice it was to have some new colleagues that were starting at the same time as me.
And we have some new colleagues in Putnam Valley this year.
We do. It was actually very exciting. For the first time in a couple of years, we had a fairly large group of new teachers coming in, and it was great to see them work together, work with different staff members from across the district, and to really spend 3 days learning about Putnam Valley, learning about our students, our community, and our schools.
You know, education, as you and I talk about every year, is so different from any other occupation, because if you're the most seasoned teacher out there, you still get the butterflies on that first day of school. It's a whole new beginning.
Certainly. Every year is a new start, and I think you're right. I think every teacher gets some sense of butterflies returning back to school. But I think once they're back in their element, all teachers sort of naturally go back into that same mindset and quickly adapt, and students really benefit from the wonderful teachers we have here.
That first couple of days of school, the buses might be running a little bit late. We want to remind mom and dad out there not to be that concerned.
Yeah, but we certainly, they're doing practice runs over the last couple of days, but there's always some hiccups along the way. Usually the holdup is related to our dismissal procedures, right? It takes us a little bit longer to dismiss students, especially at the elementary school, where students are escorted to each bus. The new middle school students are searching for their bus in a long line of buses. So yeah, I would expect certainly during dismissal time, buses will be a little delayed for the first week or so, but we'll quickly transition and be ready.
The new school year has begun. Your message to Putnam Valley as we start off the 21-22 school year.
Yeah, I think we're all very excited to welcome back our students. Our staff have been in preparing for the last couple of days, and it'll be nice to have all our students back in the classroom and get back to the business of in-person instruction and teach class in a way where we know students greatly benefit. So
Let's hope for a good year.
let's hope for the best.
After the last 18 months, it has to be only way up.
That's it. I'm with you. Hopefully we're on the road to recovery here.
Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeremy Luft. I'm Eric Gross. We thank you so much for joining us for this back-to-school edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Be safe. Have a great school year. Until next time, bye-bye now.